Okay, translators, BI group. This next presentation will be done on Monday evening in the restaurant. This is called the Intro to Nagoya Tokyo Talk. The first thing I do is while everyone's sitting down and getting their drinks ordered at the restaurant, I'm going to set up my laptop and get this going, and I will be playing this video. And this video is the Iron Man video, and it is very short, 2 minutes long, and it talks about accomplishing something extraordinary. And the transformation that I'm suggesting that the BI group accomplish, going from a normal construction company to a lean construction company, is an extraordinary accomplishment. And I show this because I ask myself, are you up to the challenge? Are you up to the challenge of doing something you think that is seemingly impossible, like an Iron Man? So I'll play the video and then I'll start my talk. Now, I call this the surprise tour. So welcome to 2SL Japan Experience. We call it the surprise tour because every time you turn around in Japan, there's going to be some great surprise. And so I was in Kyoto and I was sitting there meditating, and this gardener walked by me and he then disappeared. And I saw his tools sitting there. I said, "Where is this gardener?" I said, "This is crazy." And I saw this slit in the tree, and I looked up inside, and there's a ladder inside the tree, and the gardener's in there meticulously grooming the inside of this tree that's hundreds of years old to make sure that it lasts for future generations. So this is Japanese thinking. They are thinking long term. They are doing things that are so extraordinary you would never see in any other culture. And then as I walked around this beautiful temple area, I noticed and heard noises. And I said, "Where are all those noises?" Very, very subtle noises, but there were gardeners in a forest trimming each branch one at a time. This is the attention to detail that you see in Japan that is so extraordinary. So we call this a surprise tour because if you have big eyes, big ears, you're going to see things that will blow you away. We also call it the Crazy Kazakh Tour because we're bringing Kazakh leaders from the BI group to here, and we have a great time, and it's a lot of fun. So the Crazy 2SL Kazakh Tour, we bring people from all over the world and we show them all kinds of extraordinary things. But we also call it the Tokyo Legs Tour because if you pay attention, the Japanese women have the most beautiful legs in the world, and we might see quite a few Tokyo legs. So pay attention, it's lots of fun. Okay, we also say that this trip is about philosophy. It's not about a technique or a methodology. It's about understanding the philosophy behind the way the Japanese people think. And lean is not about manufacturing. It's actually a human development system. And this is really one of the secrets that Toyota is doing. They're developing their people, and that is why they have this extraordinary company that's one of the best companies in the world. And I bring leaders from all over the world here. So this young man came from England, a little cocky when he came here, didn't think Japan was that good. And he basically explains that in the 6 days he was here in Japan, he learned more than he learned in his 4-year degree, his master's degree, everything. It could happen to you. And this is the kind of things that will happen to you in the Japan study mission. It seems impossible that in a short trip in Japan, 6 or 7 days, it could be that transformative, but it is. And the harder it is, the bigger the opportunity. So, it may seem impossible to create a lean organization at the BI group, but I promise you, if you embark on this challenge and take it seriously and gambarimasu and do your best, the opportunity that will afford you and the rest of your team will be extraordinary. And on this trip, you have to be flexible because you're going to try new things, eat new things, and think new things. We're going to stretch you big time. So be prepared. So in order to do that, you have to have the correct attitude, and we're going to practice this. We will practice this over and over again. Now, it's also important to know that there are a couple different ways to communicate in Japanese. One is called izuchi, and this is kind of a grunting sound, and the other one is with hand signals. So here's a quick example of izuchi.
We just had an incredible conversation. You can get through any conversation by using this noise. This is the most important noise in Japanese. And without knowing the language, you'll be fluent.
We call this aizuchi in Japanese, which are short noises that you can use to reply or show that you're paying attention. For example, this means yes. This means no. This means I don't know. This means no way.
Okay, aizuchi, and also hand gesture is very important. If someone says okay, this is the way the Japanese say it's all good, or if they cross their arms, that means no go. Do not do that. There'll be over 50 learning opportunities. We actually bring Japan leaders and executives on this tour. You might think to yourself, that's crazy. So we bring leaders from all over the world, including Japanese leaders. They come here to learn because a lot of them don't know all the things that you're going to learn about Japan. Matter of fact, most of them don't know a lot of these things. And so this is a very informative trip. And this particular engineer said it was one of the best weeks of his life. And he almost puked when he went on my workout in the morning, because we used to do a workout. We don't do that anymore. The hope is that this becomes a Satori experience for you that is life-changing, that you have an awakening, that you realize things that you never realized before. And we'll have an opportunity to possibly ring a bell on Saturday if you feel like you have that Satori moment. We take the teams and we allow them to do this, and it's just a very special time. This is an 800-year-old bell. And then we will go to one of the most amazing rock gardens in Kyoto. And this is where Steve Jobs used to like to go. This is his favorite place. And we will have a chance to meditate and think about everything we've learned over the past week. Dress is business casual, except for today. And on Saturday, you can wear whatever you want, but I will tell you it's going to be cold during this particular trip that we're on. That means no t-shirts and no jeans. You just a collared shirt, and you can wear tennis shoes. There's no problem. Don't forget your hat. And remember,
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18.
Everything is a great process, and we will be practicing processes in this entire trip, because this is not a trip about lean. This is a lean trip, and you will be using lean every day in everything we do. Remember, you need your hats in many places. And what is our goal? What is our goal? To banish sloppiness and fall in love with precision. And this is your job site, so you know you guys have a long way to go. So remember, this will be a trip of contrasts. You'll be able to see how the Japanese conduct their job sites. And I took these videos when I was there in the summertime, and you know, I'm in the bridge project, and the road is rough, and the truck's going over, and it's just terrible. I made them immediately stop and flatten the road. The safety issues here. This is a very expensive machine, a tool that in my mind is being completely misused and abused, and huge safety violations, and very unsafe, not respectful of the worker. I mean, this could be an epic disaster if something happened there. And when we contrast that to what's going on in the Japanese job sites, you can clearly see the difference. Their job sites are flat, level, clean, organized. Everyone is professional. Everybody is ready to do the work. People are on top of the details. There aren't a lot of people wandering around not knowing what they're doing. They have the correct tools, equipment. All the work is done in a very precise and thoughtful way with clear processes laid out. Everywhere you look, you'll see this. And when you contrast it to your job sites, I mean, it's pretty clear, and you'd have to be blind if you didn't see the difference. When this happened, I made them immediately clean this up. So what's our goal? To banish sloppiness and fall in love with precision. And remember, you're now on Toyota time. That means never late. Always be early. And the way you do that is you have a good process. You take out your phone, you say set an alarm for 5 or 10 minutes before we leave to make sure you are there on time, completely prepared to go.
Take out your phone, set an alarm for 7:25.
So great process. Now, Mr. Omamura said passing on a defect, whether it's late or whatever you're doing, you're asking me to wipe your ass. This is the philosophy on this trip. I'm not going to be doing any ass wiping of anybody. You're going to be treated like very serious students, and you're here to learn, and you need to have the correct attitude. You need to be on time, and you need to be prepared. And if you're not, we'll leave without you. Robert Rockefeller is one of my biggest customers. He's brought over 70 people from Tasmania and Australia here, and he was late, and I left without him. Now, don't be a bother. This is a Japanese concept of Meiwaku culture. So I use this funny little picture of Putin and Macron are sitting at the table, and Macron says, I need the salt and pepper. He's not going to say, hey, Putin, would you bring me the salt and pepper? No, he's going to get up and get it himself. This is the Meiwaku attitude. You don't want to be a bother to other people. And you'll notice that about the Japanese people. They're very considerate about the people around them. So what's our goal? To banish sloppiness and love precision. And then another detail, no hands in pockets. This communicates to the Japanese people when you put your hands in your pockets, you're really not interested and you're not serious about learning. Then we have these incredible headsets. Every night you'll turn them into us so we can charge them for you. They're all numbered according to your number on them. They have a volume control on them. You can turn them up and down and adjust the volume, and you're going to love using these. Then when we leave places, you want to make sure you wave. Everywhere we go, you wave. This is a very important thing in Japan. Wave. If you're leaving the schools, waving. And remember, a lot of times we'll be on a bus for 1 hour. Make sure you always use the bathroom before you get on the bus and you're prepared, because we could be driving for up to an hour. And of course, in Japan, the toilets are amazing, so you always want to...
Is that trick or what?
And so what's our goal? To banish sloppiness and fall in love with precision. And then the last thing is a very humorous thing about the Japanese toilet. So let's take a listen to that.
Японские туалеты? Вы знаете про японские туалеты? Японцы взяли самый отвратительный опыт в истории человечества и решили его. Японские туалеты моют тебя, сушат тебя, закрывают твои счета. И представьте себе туалет в аэропорту Токио. Вы покидаете общественный туалет более чистым, чем когда вы в него заходили. Американский общественный туалет вы покидаете с психическим расстройством.
And don't be this guy. So when you're on your phone answering message for your team, that's not appropriate. If you are taking notes, being studious and curious, there's no problem. But don't be the guy who's checking your email, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. That is it's both rude and it's disrespectful of the time in Japan. So be very sensitive to what you're doing on your phone. When we're on break or when you're in your room or at breakfast, you can do all you want. But when you're with the team, you will be a distraction if you are preoccupied with anything other than what is going on for the team. And history, you'll see lots of it in Asakusa. There are beautiful ceremonies. And the Japanese culture is very rich. And you'll notice lots of this. Now, I had a guy come on the trip from Tasmania, from actually New Zealand, and he was a little cocky, didn't think Japan was that good, but by the time he got done, he said, I felt like I was a 600-pound sloth, and I was just told to climb up Mount Everest. He understood the contrast. It was huge. And indeed, many of the BI group people that have come and the leaders have come have understood that, and they've made extraordinary comments about their learning. So this is Slava. He said, Kaizen should be implemented evolutionary, not revolutionary. Laura said, if you love life, you will love Kaizen. This is one of my favorite. Zandos was ironing in his room on the very first day using the cordless Japanese iron. And he said, man, it's so easy. And he said, I found that when the process is good, I enjoy the process. And a lot of times the processes that we do every day are very clunky, and so we don't enjoy them, and we don't do a good job. But when you make the process the expert, everything can become very enjoyable. Zandos, great
Paul,
job.
it's an ironing
and
process.
Also, Zibat said, we have received the vaccination against negligence and false goals. How powerful is that? And Igor said, we need to be the virus that spreads through the BI group in Kazakhstan. These are powerful concepts. And then the four of these guys had just fabulous concepts. Kaizen is a puzzle, a virus, a magnet. I didn't spend time, I got time. We became a stronger team. These are powerful concepts. Now, tomorrow, we're going to have a very extraordinary opportunity. We're going to go to the headquarters where General MacArthur led the reconstruction of Japan. We'll go right here to these steps, right where these children are singing happy birthday to him. It will be an amazing experience. And MacArthur was very well loved by the Japanese people. When he left Japan, they lined the streets, hundreds of thousands of them, to wish him goodbye. He was very much endeared by the Japanese people, and indeed they gave him the highest award they could ever give anyone, a foreigner, in Japan. So that gives you a brief overview, and now we're going to have dinner. And we will start the movie in about a half hour about the relationship between General MacArthur and the Emperor of Japan, Hirohito. And if you have any questions, let me know. A couple details about the food. So we'll have some nice food here. We'll have some grilled vegetables. We'll have a hamburger, probably have some chicken or fish. We'll have some risotto. We'll have some fresh fruit, and we'll have popcorn during the movie. So everyone turn off your headsets during the movie so we save the batteries, because we're going to need those for the walk back. And I will play some music while we're eating dinner, and away we go.